Oh,
Come
hey guys, welcome to what we're calling Profit Talk Freestyle. Freestyle. This is basically, it's not. All right, we'll be honest.
We're just gonna talk.
We just wanted to chit chat and kind of, I don't know, kind of get in touch with everybody that's watching. You know, how's stuff going for you? Talking about how things are going for us. Reselling and personal, you know, lives, everything that's going on lately. And, you know, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. If there's something you've been dying to know, I know we're so freaking interesting.
It is audience participation day.
Yeah.
No, it really is. Like, I mean, we may chase a few rabbits down a few holes and a few squirrels up a few.
You know that we will.
You know what? That's normal. So. Oh. Kale chips, Frank Torres.
Kale chips are awesome. But he said quinoa and kale.
And I'm ashamed to say that we went out and bought 2 bags of, you're going to kill me for this, we went out and bought 2 bags of kale a couple weeks ago because you really got me thinking about that Dorito kale chip you're talking about.
Yeah.
I hope my daughter used the kale, but I have this feeling the bags of kale ended up, like, going, and that makes me, you ever, like, when you dig, I'm such a penny pincher. If I dig in the back of the refrigerator and find something that didn't get eaten and went to waste, it, like, literally makes my heart just sink because that just, I can't stand the thought of wasted anything.
I hate wasted food.
Like, we're the kind of people that will take all the vegetables that are in the crisper that need to kind of be used up, and we were talking about that tonight because we got some leftover roast from, like, 2 days ago. I was like, I'll just cube it up. We'll take all those baby carrots we have and the potatoes that are sprouting eyes, and I can cut the eyes off, whatever, and I'll make roast, you know, stew tomorrow. Like, throw all your crap in a pot and use it up. So.
I like it. It's called vegetable soup.
It's called.
My husband always says that I make the best food when I just digging through the fridge. When I'm like, oh, we haven't gone grocery shopping in 2 weeks. I have these 5 random things.
Well, that's when you get the most creative.
There is a website for that, and I'll try to find out from my daughter, but you tell them, you put what ingredients you have,
yeah.
And boom, you can make this.
Shut up.
Sort of. Kind of.
Yeah, you put what you've got, and it finds, like, the recipes that make, like, those things
That's cool. I didn't know that. Dude, I cannot believe that Tristan did not make those because I, like, typed out that.
Oh, kale chips are so good. The only problem with making, like, homemade kale chips is that I can't make enough. Like, they take so long to make that by the time you take them out, you're like, home, and then you've eaten them. And then they're like, you're like, because you essentially, like, have this whole thing of kale, and then you end up with, like, what would be one of those snack pack bags.
I have
a lunchbox bag of kale chips. You're like,
You have to do a huge, like, I have either a 9 or 12 tray dehydrator, and it's one of the big square ones. It's not an Excalibur, but it's like
you dehydrate them. I don't really put them in the oven. Okay, I have a dehydrator that I parted out that I'm thinking about just keeping because it's not selling.
There's so much better in the dehydrator.
So I'm gonna cancel listings and I'm gonna put it back together again.
Right.
That was like that one time that I parted out that whole machine, and the guy went through and bought every single piece that I had, and basically he put it back together.
And you're like, for half the price.
Did he really?
Yeah, he bought every single part that I had, and I was like, he essentially just reassembled my part out.
Shut up.
It worked out really great because I sold all the pieces together for like $80, and I only paid $7.99 for the whole machine. And if I would have kept it all together and just sold the unit as a whole, I would have never priced it like $80. You know, so it worked out for me.
What is Kevin talking about?
Who? Oh.
Kevin. Why do they call them palm trees? They don't look like palms. That don't make no sense.
Oh, no.
Oh. Who do we have? We've got Wade and Angie.
Oh.
Wade.
Check out my super creative daughter. My 7-year-old drew this.
Aww.
She just came to show it to me.
Who is it?
I don't know. My 7-year-old drew it.
No. Oh, at the top. I was trying to see.
Oh, she named it Clara.
Love it.
Yeah. Pretty good. Remember when she was a little kid? She only drew like a head. It would be no, I remember.
Oh.
She only drew a head, and then it would have 3 hairs, and then like legs. So it was just like a head with legs and 3 hairs.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Why would you dehydrate onions?
You can use them for soups and stuff, and they don't go bad that way. I dehydrate mushrooms, like when they take like the mushrooms and put them for like 49 or 99 cents for the big containers. Take them and slice them into slices and dehydrate them, and then that way, you can fit like, how many did I have? I think I had 9 of the little containers that are like that big, and of Baby Bellas, and I sliced them up and dehydrated them, and they all fit in one of the, is it a quart canning jar? Like the one that's kind of tall? And then you can rehydrate them if you want to, but when I use them like for soups and gravy and things like that, I'll just smush them, like for gravy, I'll just break them up and smush them and put them in the gravy. And I do that with tomatoes too. Like if you have a whole bunch of tomatoes that are about to go bad, slice them up and dehydrate them. And then when you take them off of the dehydrator, you have to make sure that they get completely dry though. Take them off the dehydrator trays and smash them so that they become powder.
Oh.
And then you just use the powder to make sauce and soup base and stuff like that. It's awesome. Out of season veggies and fruits. What are they talking about?
To save, I guess.
Oh, for the dehydrating?
Yeah.
I gotcha.
So, UPS hasn't picked up my boxes.
Are they still out there?
Yeah. Yeah. That was that same issue I was having where, like, 4 times in a row, I had pickups that were scheduled and they, like, never came.
We finally got mine fixed, right? The, my UPS Connect thing, how it kept wanting to charge me for the smart pickups, they finally fixed it.
Well, I had called and spoke to a supervisor, and they told me that like something was going on with the system, wasn't sending the pickup information to the local hub, so the driver was never getting that he was supposed to pick up.
Oh.
And then I scheduled one last week, and they showed up just fine, but it's already 7:15, and they're not her.
What time did you schedule it today?
I just have to make sure I schedule it before 5.
Oh.
It's still there. The request is still there, so. Yeah, my notify time is 5 o'clock. Like, I have to notify them by 5 if I want.
That's really late.
Yeah, I know. But, yep. But I'm so glad to have that shipment done. It was like taking over my whole living room for like 5 days. It was ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad it's gone. And I'm so glad to be back to like the way that I was before where, it wasn't that, when I did my video, it wasn't that I didn't want to do FBA. I just wanted to go back to doing it the way that I was doing it before, where I was doing it, like, by chance. If I was at the store, then I would go looking for stuff. If my husband had to go to Home Depot or Lowe's to pick up things, then I would go scour the store while we were there. Mm-hmm. Or if I was grocery shopping, or if I was at Walgreens or whatever, and I would just pick up things at random. And to me, that was better. Because when I, like last week when I was going out and purposely, going, okay, I'm leaving my house and I'm going to go look for stuff. I don't know, it just made me miserable. To me, it was like a job. It was actually like a job. It turned my business into a job.
Yeah, I think it's fun. Like, I don't mind. I think it's exciting, and finding something new.
Yeah.
I don't know.
For me, like, thrifting is fun for me. I like doing that. Just how, like, some people love doing garage sales.
Yeah.
I hate garage sales. I don't want to go garage selling. There's nothing that I want, I don't want to go out on my Saturday morning and drive around to 30 different houses and try to find things, So, like, but some people love it. I mean, absolutely love garage selling. That's their thing. They love doing it. If they weren't even doing eBay, they would still be garage selling, and I hate it.
I like it, like, the nosy
preference.
part. Like, the nosy part of me, I love going to yard sales, because it's like, seeing, like, what everybody has. And I like it, like, for me, like, for cool furniture pieces and things like that. I think they're really fun, but I don't know. I think it goes back to that whole, I am not a negotiator.
Yeah.
I'm just not. I think I would enjoy it a whole lot more. I like to go look. Like, I'll go to yard sales just to walk around and look. I don't need to buy anything. But that's like...
I don't know. I don't have an interest in driving around to a bunch of different locations.
Like, I like to walk through town, and, my town's small enough you can walk,
I love yard sales, but I'm not, like, organized. Like, some people do maps, and they map them all out and all that. I literally, like, I know the main drags where people put signs. And so if I'm going to do yard sales, I'll just drive up and down those main drags, look for the signs, just randomly hit them. If it's all baby stuff and you can see that from the street, I might kind of leave the car running and just jump out for a second. I'm not into baby stuff. But if it's like old house, you can tell it's old stuff. It's not really an estate sale, but whatever. It looks like it has home run, what I call home run potential, then I'll totally stop the car, get out and go. But, we were talking about that earlier. That's where a lot of I got so excited. I haven't done an estate sale in a long time. And Friday I was going to get car tags, and it was like right here in my neighborhood, like 3 blocks away. I had no clue, and I'm on my way to get car tags, and I see a sign that says estate sale and tells the company, and I'm like, oh, estate sale, but they always look their stuff up, and there's not much meat on the bone. Well, I got to get my car tags. It was May the 1st, and they were already overdue by one day. I was like, well, I'll stop on my way back. So I come back on the way back, get there about 1:45, 2 o'clock. They close at 3 on Friday. Their estate sales don't last very long each day, but everything was 25% off. I get in the house, and it's like 1950, late 40s through 1980s time capsule. Like, it's obviously a true estate, and the house is packed. Like, Madame Alexander dolls out the wazoo, probably $500-600 dolls. Books everywhere. The attic is probably 1,000 square feet, and it's a walk-up attic with a 4-foot wide staircase, there in the house. And long story short, I spent about $170. I got probably 23. I was wrong on a couple items. Probably $2,300 to $2,500 worth of stuff. And I'm like, wow, that's what I miss. You know what I mean? It just kind of took me back to my roots of, like, I like doing FBA. Nothing against scanning barcodes. There's good money in it. I did a little bit of that yesterday. But you can't really always hit a home run. For me, I've never hit a home run. Let's just put it that way. I've never hit a home run doing retail arbitrage. I might find an item that I can buy 100 of. I can get three times my money back. But typically, you're not going to buy an item for $1 most of the time. Buy an item for $1 and sell it for $500. It just doesn't happen.
That's the thing about FBA for me is that it's a totally different business because my profit, profit numbers are so much lower than anything that I would ever even consider putting into my shopping cart for eBay. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way in hell I would be like, ooh, I can make $4 on this. You know what I mean? Like, if it was eBay.
But they're one-offs. eBay is one-offs.
Right. You know, but it's just a totally different, like, business. Like, because I would never even consider, you know, the stuff that I get, like, as far as, like, profit-wise. Like, oh, I'm going to buy this for $5 and sell it for, you know, $15, and I'm going to make $4.
Yeah.
Yay. You know? Like,
I know. I just wish I mean, that part of eBay I thought was awesome, but it didn't come close enough to making up for the other stuff that, you know, I hate.
Yeah, it's
so
very
much.
different. It's a different business, but I like it, and I missed it, and I'm actually excited that I'm done with this big FBA shipment that I have. Because the thing about FBA is it ties up so much of my time because I'm so inefficient. I'm not an efficient person, so things that, you know, can take someone an hour or two can take me a day or two, you know,
right.
Because I'm so grasshopper all over the place, you know, and I get very easily distracted. And so I'm happy to get that shipment done because I know when I go sourcing now, you know, inevitably I pick up, you know, 5 or 10 things or whatever, and I can process 5 or 10 things, you know, like come home and, oh, it's done and have it out the door the next day. Like this stuff I've had since last week, beginning of last week, you know, so it's like and when I have something that I have to do, it's the only thing my brain will let me do. So I couldn't do any eBay because I had to finish this FBA shipment. Even though I wasn't doing it very quickly, I wasn't able to do anything else because that was what I had to finish, even though, you know, it took me 5 days of time. If I was more efficient, I could have knocked it out in a day. So I'm really glad that it's done, because then now I can do my eBay stuff, you know. That's why I was saying I got so out of balance, because I can't switch gears like that. I'm just not that kind of person.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm so happy. I just want to clean my house, because I neglected that, so I need to clean up stuff and then really hit eBay pretty hard, because I have a lot of inventory to list, a lot, a whole lot, a whole lot.
I haven't shown
Everybody
the boys yet.
Whole lot.
Ho ho ho. I haven't showed the boys yet. Well, I haven't really told them yet what my plan is for them to list all that eBay stuff and take care of it. They don't know about that yet. So I think I'm going to videotape and just kind of keep track of everything, like how it goes, what works, what doesn't work, what was the best way for them to understand, and that kind of thing. Just I think I want to, I don't know, just what's it called? Crap. Like when you've got an experiment going and you keep notes and, that kind of thing. I think I want to kind of treat it like that. Yes! I want to document the process. Thank you. That's terrible. I couldn't think of that word.
I
just think it's going to be interesting.
This month, I decided that since I haven't done any eBay sourcing this month, I haven't done, the only sourcing I did was that stuff from Walgreens that is in those boxes out there on that porch. So I was thinking about doing a little, almost like a little challenge of a no-sing challenge for the month of May for eBay.
Yeah.
And essentially see how much I can knock out of the stuff that I have. Keep a tally list, because I do really well keeping a tally book of my eBay listings, and just kind of really see, when I'm focused, what I can get listed. I would like to get my listings up to 225. I only have 150 things listed right now.
Good Lord.
Yeah. eBay's been doing really well for me, like, in the last couple days. That's why I said in the 1500 room, I was like, eBay's all like, ooh, girl, you know I love you. Come on back.
Yeah.
Because, like, I actually had good sales. I had, like, $250 in sales, and I have nothing new. Like, it's all old stuff. I haven't listed anything new. So, you know, to have such a low amount of listings and nothing new, like, $250 is pretty good. Yeah. So.
Chad's picking on me.
Distracted.
Chad's picking on me.
Jeff is always picking on me. Look at Jeff. Jeff's just like pick on me.
So why, if you have an item on eBay that says I am awaiting payment for 2 items, and you click on the 2 items and it shows the 2, and they don't have the little $sign, but one of them says send invoice and one of them says print shipping label. Why is it telling me to...
Did you do a partial refund or anything?
No, this is an item that I've been...
Is your internet all slow, or is that me? Because you're really choppy.
No, it's just me.
You sound like a robot.
No, it's an item I've been waiting for him to pay for all day, and it's like, I don't know, I was just looking at it, but... No, I do not buy lottery tickets.
Oh, I bought one. I won $1. I paid $1 and won $1.
I do whenever we go to a state where you can buy them. I'll buy one, like when we're like we stop for gas on a road trip or something, and we're in a state that will. I'll buy one and let the boys scratch it off.
Oh, I'll buy.
Yeah, my daughter likes to scratch them. I buy the Loteria ones. They have a Mexican bingo lottery ticket.
Yeah.
And my daughter likes to scratch those off.
Whatever the one is where you have to put the numbers in or whatever. Whenever that one gets like super high, John will go buy some tickets for that. But other than that, we don't do lottery tickets or bingo.
I won bingo one time. I won $750 playing bingo. It was fun. Bingo to me is like really stress relieving because you can't really think about anything else because it's so fast paced that all you can really do is focus on your card because otherwise you're totally gonna miss it.
Oh, they go so fast with bingo, it makes me crazy. Especially if you're playing like 4 cards at one time. My brain is like, I missed one. And I gotta go back and like I get OCD and I start double, triple checking the cards. No, I can't do it. I tried.
I like bingo. I think it's cool.
Oh, I love bingo. It's just really relaxing because there's nothing else to do. And there's the possibility that you can win money. And the bingo places here are BYOB.
What? Yeah. I couldn't get drunk and play bingo. That
you're like...
That defeats the purpose.
Bingo and bear! Woo!
Swamp
Powerball, that's it.
Swamp Picker question, what do you use for listing on eBay? Turbo Lister is one of them. I tried Turbo Lister. It was so glitchy trying to set it up.
Yeah.
I gave up on it. I just do old school. I cut and paste a lot of my stuff, like free shipping to the United States only, make me a best offer by clicking the best offer because I do a lot of best offer. Pretty much all my stuff's buy it now, best offer, free shipping. That's just my style. So I have all that stuff set in a Word document so I can cut and paste it. I just use a lot of sell similar. Stick my pictures in there, tweak the title a little bit, copy the title down to the first line of my description, add my little blurb, put my price, list it, I'm done. Don't use anything?
Yeah, I only use Turbo Lister to transfer items from one account to another because I have like a little clearance account that I use for things that I just don't want in my store anymore. So I've used it for that because it's really simple, like to transfer all of your listings from one account to another account. But I don't use anything for listing. I don't see the reason. I think that listing tools were really beneficial back probably about 2 years ago. when it was nice to do templates and it was nice to, have all that other stuff. But the way that eBay has changed in the way that they want their listings done and that they want them simple format and they want them pretty consistent, that it really doesn't benefit you to have a listing program, I don't think, anymore.
I've had a couple people argue with me about Octiva working, and I went and looked at their auctions from mobile, and I'm just going to be totally honest. I don't buy from people that use Octiva because I can't see the description. It's not mobile friendly, regardless of what you say. I'm telling you, it's not iPhone friendly. And I typically, if I can't see the description and there might be something hidden because you used Octiva, I'll skip over it and I'll go to the next.
Mm-hmm. I used to use Garage Sale.
Hear you, Mr. Roboto.
What?
Is it?
I can hear him fine now.
Robot, or is it my computer?
No, it's you.
No, he's fine. I used to use Garage Sale back in the day.
Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm gonna refresh because it's really bad.
Is it everybody? Oh, I guess so. Garage Sale was awesome, like years ago. I got it free in a Mac heist in like 2003, 2004, something like that. And it was awesome, but it takes, I put so little in whenever I would list on eBay, I would put so little in the auction anyways that it didn't matter. I could type it in just as fast. Is that better, Deb?
Yeah. Well, I could hear you fine. You weren't talking at all. That's why I thought it was only Dusty.
Oh. You're such an ass.
I'm such an ass.
Also, Chad had a question about what Amazon sellers were going to do when the stores started selling online. I really don't think right now that that's a concern. The reason why is because every store generally has its own budget. And, even like Walmart has their own budget for their items. They have their own budget for their clearance. I don't think that it's something that they could roll out nationwide, store-wide, to say, these items we're going to put into our clearance center website, whatever. I just don't think it's something, because I know that there are stores, because it's so uneconomical for them to ship things back to their distribution centers and to their, whatever. That's why they do the clearance anyway. Because, essentially, wouldn't it be better for them if they could, or, if it wasn't, uneconomical for them to send things back? Wouldn't they have done that already? Wouldn't they have done that before the internet even came around for them to do that? So I really don't see it being a problem in that aspect of them having a clearance center. It's just like how you'll see them on their websites. They'll have stuff on clearance, but I know I can go to the actual store in the area and get that item for much cheaper on clearance there in the store. So I don't see it being an issue per se on that, because I think they could have done it long ago. If they were on that game, Amazon wouldn't even exist.
No, and I don't think necessarily the retail stores are going to be competition, but I do see, and this is a controversial subject, but I was having a long conversation with someone about it today, because I was talking about, how much I enjoy the old school picking and the, just like you were talking about, Deb, just getting back to my roots of what I know, and that's more exciting. And retail arbitrage is great, and it's fine, but it's so, and I chase it when I need to, those times a year, like fourth quarter, that's when I need to make my money. If I come across a deal from, a liquidation type deal that I find on Craigslist or whatever, where somebody's got a pallet of something, then yeah, I'll totally FBA it. Or if I happen to be at Walmart or like yesterday Lowe's, if they got clearance, I'm going to scan it. But I don't want to go out and actively search it. That's never been my bread and butter. It's never going to be my bread and butter. My bread and butter will probably always be, and that's just me personally, will be eBay and finding those items that require me to do, I don't know, maybe it's an adrenaline rush. I get an adrenaline rush from going to an estate sale and buying an item for $10 and them not knowing that it's worth $300, I've never had that same adrenaline rush from walking into a Walmart or a Target or a Lowe's. Mm-hmm. Not once. You know.
I don't think logistically they could sell on Amazon. You know, like going back to Chad's question.
Well, I don't even think about the stores selling on Amazon. I know I've heard people talking about, oh, well, the stores are gonna, you know, they're gonna pick up on this and they're gonna start clearancing their own stuff and having their own clearance, whatever. It's not a new concept. So if they were gonna do that, they would have already done it. There's something logistically about it that they can't, I think. And I mean, because in all honesty, the stores now, like you would think a store manager, because, you know, each store manager has its numbers they're supposed to reach, right? They have their store sales numbers and all of these things. If that was something that they were going to do, don't you think as a store manager, you would have already implemented having your $8 an hour guy go, hey, why don't you go scan that stuff over there and see what it's going for online? You know what I mean? Like, they could have essentially done that themselves and to you know, cover their bottom line.
Right.
But for some reason, there's something in corporate America that it's more economical for them. I don't know if it's for tax reasons. I don't know if it's just how their I can't think of the word, but how their books work. That it's better for them on most cases to salvage things out and throw it away. And you would think, well, how is that better? You know, how is throwing something away better than, why didn't you just sell it to me for $5 or whatever, but you threw it away? There's something in it, I don't know if it's with taxes or the way that things are written off in the books or whatnot, but the way that they do things, it's just not conducive for them to be doing an Amazon-style business model like we do, where we take their clearance and sell it full price, or even having their own clearance store for their stuff. Because otherwise they would have already done it.
It would have to be done by individual stores, though.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's what I'm saying, because each one of the stores has their own budget.
Yeah, there's no way that's...
Even though...
It wouldn't happen at all.
Even though it's Office Depot, every single Office Depot has its own allocation of, you know, funds and their own budget and their own this and that. So, yeah, I'm not worried about it.
Oh, Jim, I don't know if it's Jim or Tara, Carrie said that Shopko in Wisconsin, talking about the crazy clearance prices and stuff, it's unreal. I don't know how Shopko stays in business, but you can make some amazing money there. Like that, you would get some home runs there. Oh, did I say I was from Concord somewhere? Some traders asking me about Concord.
Coco Chanel is in the audience.
What? I thought Coco Chanel was dead.
And so I hate to keep going back. I don't know. I'm excited. I haven't been to a yard sale since, honestly, probably like last fall when they stopped. And going to that estate sale, that's one of the things. I went back Saturday. They had a bunch of Chanel perfume, vintage Chanel perfume. Some of the bottles full, some of them partially full, with the original little boxes. I mean, this was the estate of a wealthy engineer who obviously adored his wife and bought her the finest of everything. And apparently she didn't always like the perfume because she didn't always use them. But I went back and bought the Chanel No. 5 perfume in the vintage bottles, and it was just, I don't know, listing it was just fun. I don't know a ton about perfume. I knew it was worth something. I didn't know the historical values, but sitting down on eBay and spending a Saturday afternoon and doing that research and going, oh my gosh, this bottle of Chanel right here is worth $200. I mean, I don't know. I kind of miss that stuff. It's kind of, Chad said it in the audience a minute ago. I have to scroll back up, but he said, you know, no amount of money can give you that. And I agree with that for me personally. There's no amount of money of doing retail arbitrage, of scanning barcodes, and like I was doing today, and doing water filters and all this other crap that I bought, some grocery items that were replens from Walmart, and sticking barcodes on them. And it was like, I wasn't getting anything from it, you know what I mean? But that thrill and that rush of buying something that may be potentially worth big bucks and sticking it on eBay and doing that research, and then when it sells and you get that cha-ching, and it's like,
Yeah.
I just turned nothing into a big something. That's awesome.
Seriously, like, okay, in the last, I looked at my numbers for April 15th through today. I had $3,000 in sales. It was $2,999 and some change. That's an amazing number. But there was nothing about that was as exciting to me as me getting these stupid little cha-chings for this junk I have listed on eBay. You know, and it was like, I was just like, my phone went cha-ching, and I was like, ooh, what's that? And it was like a $6 part. You know, and I was like, yeah. You know?
I think for me, the nice thing about eBay is you don't have to tie up a lot of money. So if it doesn't sell or you end up having to throw it out or whatever, you know, you don't have a ton tied up. Whereas if you go out and do retail arbitrage and you go, okay, I'm going to buy 67 boxes of whatever because it's going to sell whatever, and you're like, damn, $10 a box, I'm going to get 30, that's great, or 25, but I got $670 tied up. I mean, that's versus eBay where you go hit a couple yard sales, you spend $100 in an afternoon, you come home and you're like, you know what, worst case, I'm going to get 4 or 5 times my money back. I can't lose, you know?
Yeah, I am, you know, I feel so happy. Like, my mind feels so much better. You know, like, I'm actually, like, waiting. Like, I'm like, oh, I can't wait until I get, you know, this stuff cleaned up out of here, and go do my eBay stuff. Like, I'm all antsy about it because I'm like, I'm excited to do it. So I feel so much better with my decision about, and you know, honestly, I'm really glad that I had such what I consider a really successful experience, you know, doing RA and selling it. I mean, I did great. I did a great job. You know, to me, like, for what I spent on the items that I bought and the return that I received, you know, I did a really good job. And it was like, okay, I was successful at it. I can, if I need to be, I can be successful at that. But that's not what I want to do. And I'm really glad that I don't have that question, because I know that there's a lot of people, and I know the video that I made really resonated with people because it had so many responses of people that kind of felt the same way. And there's something about people that have never done FBA, and it's always pumped up as being that, you know, awesome, amazing business, and you're going to make so much money, and you're missing out, and why aren't you doing it? And I know Chad, you know, is probably familiar with that, because people are always, you know, why aren't you doing FBA? Why aren't you doing FBA? Blah, blah. You know, and I know that there's a lot of people that they don't know how, so they don't know if they would be good at it or if they'd even know what to do, but they feel like they're missing out on something, and I'm really glad that I know I'm not missing out. I'm choosing to just not go that route as my full-time thing. And there's some kind of little piece with that, you know, in knowing that I'm picking eBay because I enjoy it.
It's whatever works. It's whatever works. I mean, there's people like, I probably shouldn't mention anybody by name. That wouldn't be a good idea. But I mean, there's people out there that are like $100. That usually gets me in trouble and backfire.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's people out there that are 100% FBA, and they're like retail arbitrage, and I'm going to go spend all day in Costco scanning barcodes or what. I mean, that's great. And Danica, you're not really an eBay.
I don't spend all day. I don't spend all day doing that. No.
No, but I'm saying we probably ostracize you because you're not as much eBay. But yeah, and if that works for those people, and you're making a living doing it, and you really get enjoyment out of it, then
some people love it.
But I find myself doing Amazon for a few months, building up a lot of FBA. I have a lot of replens type items. I mean, I'll sell 12 months out of the year, and then I'll concentrate really heavy 3 months, fourth quarter. But those other 9 months, especially when the weather gets pretty, I'm chomping at the bit to go dig through somebody's attic or somebody's garage or somebody's storage unit or somebody's grandmother's basement or somebody's grandmother's drawers, or, you know, whatever. That came out wrong.
Dusty's in your grandma's drawers.
Get out of my grandma's drawers, Daddy.
You know, but I am, because my brain personally has to have that adrenaline rush. It's one of the reasons I can't do retail. I've tried it, and every time I get like, I'm not cut out for type assembly line, factory work, whatever, the same thing day in and day out. If I don't have that rush or that thrill of finding that next home run, I get bored. I do. I get bored. I lose interest. I get miserable, and then my job becomes miserable, and I become miserable, and everybody else around me becomes miserable.
I mean, some people love it. Some people love to go sourcing, and they get that excitement that I get from Goodwill.
Yeah, and if that works for you, then keep doing it. But it's just, I guess I'm talking about me personally. It just doesn't. It's not my thing.
I wish that everybody was able to do that. That they were able to know, you know, that I'm doing this business out of choice, out of, you know, this is what I'm happy doing, I'm content in my day doing this, as opposed to me, what it really came down to was that feeling that this is a job. And you know how people are with their jobs, they're rarely doing anything that's a passion of theirs. They're doing it because it's a check. And they go to work every day and they don't want to be there, and they're doing this job because they need the money. And that, to me, you know, being able to pick what you want to do, for me, which is between eBay and Amazon, and going, I want to do this, I like doing this, and that's my income, you know, there's a lot of satisfaction in that, you know, instead of going, oh, I have to do this because this is my job, you know. And some people really do enjoy doing RA and driving around and, you know, finding 100 of the same thing and being on that mission. Like, to them, it's a win, you know, like they found it, you know, I got 100 more of them, you know, this is amazing. I really just like the one-off kind of stuff that, to me, is very educational. I've learned so much over the years of, you know, I have so much knowledge in here about different items that, you know, couldn't show up on a BOLO list. You know, it's because they're just like these one-off things that you're never going to find.
That's the part that fascinates me, is the adding to. I don't know. I guess it's just my personality type. I like to add. I hated school, but I love continuously adding the knowledge to it. Like, if you look at an old antique dealer, it's been doing it for years, and you know, they've learned everything they have over the years. I didn't know anything about Chanel perfume other than it was expensive. I didn't know anything about vintage perfume until Saturday, when I sat down, took a crap shoot. I did a little research on my phone on eBay and was like, oh, Chanel No. 5, blah, blah. It's going to be, you know, it's definitely worth that. You know what? I'll take all the vintage perfume. Just give me one lot price. I'll take it all. And I went home and I spent 5 hours on Saturday listing that and a bunch of other items, and I learned a ton. And from now on, the next sale that I go to, I'll have a little. I'm still not an expert, but I'll have a little more knowledge to add to.
That's the difference also between doing, you know, eBay stuff and Amazon stuff, is that the knowledge that you pick up on the things that you buy carry on, you know, for a long time. But with FBA items, retail arbitrage items,
it changes.
What I bought today
might
not be something I should buy next week. It's so quick on, you know, turnaround on things that it's a constant process of this and that. But, like, I have so many things listed off that I'm like, if I see this again, I get it. If I see that again, get it. If I see it, get it. You know what I mean? And, but with the things that I've learned with Amazon, I don't think that I have very many items that I can say, oh, if I see that, you know, at Walmart, then I've got to get, you know, all of the ones that I can find because I sold that 6 months ago. So I can, you know, the knowledge is, it's very short time frame. You know, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Kevin? Like, it expires really quickly. But, like, the knowledge that you learned on your Chanel stuff, the things that I know about things that I sell on eBay, that's good information for the next year or two.
Kevin, Kevin from Thrifting Lounge just said vintage perfume is great, man. Totally agree with you, but one thing I did learn, Kevin, wear rubber gloves or just be really careful and don't spill it, or your entire office will smell like a French whore all day. I mean, it smells great, but between like the 6 different perfumes that I had, I had it on, because I'd open the stopper and whatever, and I'd get a little on my fingers, and I'd kind of wipe it on my pants, and I've got a ceiling fan that's going in here. Plus, it was pretty out, so we didn't have the air on, so that it was like my wife walks in the room, and she's like, oh, my God. Like, if you had allergies, it would have totally killed you and run you out. But, yeah, vintage perfume, there's definitely, Kevin's right, there's some, and I kind of knew that. I just didn't know to what extent. People even collect empty bottles, or they collect the, the stupid, crazy money in just empty bottles was insane.
One of my biggest, what I consider flips as far as percentages, was a powder, like a body powder, that I got for 10 cents at an estate sale that was like 2 doors down from me. And it was like a fragranced powder that wasn't in existence anymore, and I sold it for $150, and I paid 10 cents for it. And I mean, some of that stuff, as far as like fragrances, I don't understand the appeal that you have to have that certain thing, but people are very dedicated to that, perfume or fragrance that, it was just one little thing of powder, $150, and that lady apparently always bought them because, like, her feedback, she had left somebody bad feedback saying that it wasn't genuine or there was something wrong with it or whatever, the one that she had bought from them, and so I was kind of freaked out, like, selling it to her, but mine was, like, sealed and new and just, like, probably 25 years old.
Oh, Joseph is the guy with the Boy Scout patches. I was wondering who Joseph Hare was.
Swamp asked, does perfume go bad? I think it can. Not perfume, because it's oil-based, right? Mm-hmm. Or is it vice versa? I know that scents can change, that the smells can change.
Like if it says eau de toilette, that can change.
Because it's alcohol-based, right? Is it chemical?
It's water.
Whereas a parfum or perfume is more...
It's oil-based.
Yeah.
And a lot of the old ones are whale blubber.
I didn't taste them. That I didn't know. But I did learn the difference between like, eau de...
And I know with lotions will turn. Lotions will go bad. You could, that old lotion
smell. They separate
so
too.
Awful.
Like how they separate.
Like that smell doesn't go away if you get old lotion smell.
Where it all smells like Vaseline lotion.
But just the old boxes and the bottles, and they were so elegant. And a lot of them made them out of crystal, and then they had the the higher end perfumes. I think they still do that. Would have the the little ties where the lid was tied down to the bottle where it was sealed. Wow, I'll smell that one now. It was just, I don't know, it was just fascinating. It was really, really, really cool to go through it and learn about it. And what's so funny?
Chad's drunk.
He said, ha, she said, blubber.
Blubber. It's true. That's like one of the main reasons why there was so much whaling that went on was because they used the whale blubber in the perfume industry.
Wow, apparently I've missed a lot in the chat.
Don't go over there.
Yeah. So anyhow,
I only look at the last 3 things, so I don't know what goes on prior to me looking at the last 3 things.
We're just gonna leave it that over there.
Looks like cognac. Yeah, but it didn't taste like it though.
Ew, I would. No, I just got I don't know, like when you said it doesn't taste like it though, I was like, oh my god, could you imagine tasting perfumes? Like, part of the smell. Pay no attention to me.
I'm not. Oh wait,
just ignore me.
Out
Shut up, Deb.
So now we've completely ostracized you. Yeah, please say something that's on your mind.
Yeah, no, I'm done. I don't want to talk to any of you people.
Ran me how you eBay people.
Stupid eBay people. Whatever.
Were you ever eBay much or not really? Yes, no.
When John was in college, I would sell random things, here and there, like if we wanted to do something or, and didn't have enough money or, if we just had some things that I knew they were still worth something. A lot of old, like, routers and things like that. A lot of it was electronics. I did that, like, off and on here and there. And that was kind of the extent of it. Like, it was just hey, I'd like a couple of bucks, some extra cash, so I'm going to throw a couple things on eBay, and they would sell, and I would take the money and do whatever it was, that I wanted to do, or would buy whatever it was I wanted to buy. And then when I started doing FBA, I felt like I should be doing eBay because I was seeing all these things that I knew that I could sell,
Right.
So I felt like I needed to do it. And I hated it with a passion.
And don't do things that you hate.
Well, and Deb, I think it was you and Dusty actually that were the ones that were, especially you, Deb, were like, if you hate it, don't do it. Because I feel like I should.
When you're trying to do something that you don't like, as far as online selling, what ends up happening is like all of the rollouts that happen when they make changes, you're so affected by them. You're so angry and this and that and blah, because it makes something that you already hate more difficult. Like, I have no problem rolling with the punches with eBay. Like, nothing at all. But did you see me yesterday? What was I doing yesterday with the changes on Amazon? I'm like, this is stupid. Why did they even come up with this? This is the dumbest thing. I don't even know why they did it. You know what I mean? Like, so... But
and I'm like, what?
And I'm like, that's okay, all right, well, I'll deal with it,
Yeah, you are right though. It doesn't bother him. It's just like something new. It'll weed out some people.
Yeah, and that's the same thing that I do with eBay. When eBay rolls out changes, I'm like, oh, okay, all right, well, all those other crappy sellers will be gone. No big deal,
Yeah. Well, I know that's terrible, but I do kind of look at all of the changes as a waiting out process. Not in a bad way, but there really are a lot of people that shouldn't be selling on platforms, and I don't mind the weeding out process.
Yeah. So
I was making sure we didn't miss anything.
I told you I only read the last 3 things, so I got Bill was leaving, so.
Oh, bye, Mr. Bill.
Girl, are my UPS boxes still outside? It says it's completed. I'm gonna be Uber.
Did she
just hang up on us?
Did she just hang up on us?
What the hell was that? I can't believe she just walked away from us. All right.
They're still out there on my porch, but the status of my pickup is completed.
What? Maybe he's on his way?
No. Nope. It's that same crap. I'm going to have to schedule a pickup, and I'm going to make them reimburse me is what I'm going to do. I have 70 pounds of stuff out there. I don't want to bring it back inside. Lame.
That's not cool.
Yeah.
That is not cool at all. All right, I was trying to clean up the chat a little bit, but I'm not going to try because we're about done.
Just let it go.
Let it go. With the lead. Oh, lead. I was like, what is he talking about? A lead law?
Oh, I saw that earlier, and I thought he was talking about lead too. He said toys. I thought he was talking about lead-based toys. Lead law, you could sell in.
No, I read it as
lead.
a lead law, and I was like, yeah, it is lead. I was like, what does he mean a lead? What's a lead law? But yeah, okay.
I do not know.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Some of these comments are funny.
Y'all are crazy. I think they've all started smoking or something. Y'all crazy.
Joseph Hare, I love pot smokers. They are fun and always have snacks. It's funny. And so I'm like the ones I have. I'm like, wow, y'all type too fast.
Y'all do type too fast. I was trying to keep up in case somebody wanted to ask something about our, awesomely amazing Uber.
Nobody cares what we talk about.
I'll have to take pictures of y'all of my gardening that I'm doing.
Paul said I've been mad all day.
You can work it out with your postal.
What?
It said Paul said I've been mad all day.
Paul has or you have?
Paul said Deb has been mad all day. So I was mad this morning on the show, and I left.
Oh. I got confused. I thought you were saying that Paul said that he'd been mad all day, and I was like,
Paul said that I have been mad all day.
What?
What?
What is mad all day?
Resell Ronan. Everyone tweet UPS. Deb's going to do her corporate shaming.
I'm going to do some corporate shaming.
Look out, UPS.
What I'm going to do is I have an email from them of when I contacted them recently about my issues of them not picking up my pickups, and the tech support people were wanting me to send them some information. So, but they ended up picking up my pickup that day. So I'm just going to respond to that and try to get them to follow.
If you can get the number to your local hub.
I give them and say that they're not getting the information to the hub, and so the drivers aren't getting the pickup information. It's just kind of canceling out through the system. Because I talked to the supervisor about it already.
Yeah, they don't publish hub numbers, and they're but if you're really nice to your driver and you say, hey, listen, I've had issues, I know they don't publish, sometimes they'll give it. If you can get a hold of a hub number and save it, you can get a lot of stuff done. Sometimes you can find one through a Google search. I mean, they're not going to give it to you. They don't even give it to the UPS store owners. They just don't give their hub numbers out. But if you can ever get a hold of one, or if they ever, one day they called me years ago and they were like, hey, on your pickup, is this the address? Is it front porch? And I'm like, oh, yeah, thanks for giving me that number, saving it in the phone. If you ever have problems with UPS, you can use that number and call, and you can get a supervisor, and they get stuff done really, really fast. So if you can get that number, it's good.
I asked clarify his question, and then I forgot to go look, and then now I don't know what he's talking about.
What did what?
What was his question?
I don't know. I have to scroll up 1,000 people.
Was it the lead thing that Dusty and I couldn't read?
Yeah. Yeah. But there was a question before that, and I can't, I'm really confused. Sorry, I'm not ignoring your question. I'm lost in the chat.
It is not hard to get lost over there.
No, it goes really quick, and you go back and look, and then you have to try to scroll up, and then...
Okay, I'm done.
Wade. Yeah, I am too. I was trying to give Deb time to find the thing she was looking for, just in case it was something that she wanted to answer, but...
I can't. Swamp, if you got a question, just send it to me on Facebook, because I'm not really sure what's going on.
Sorry, Swamp.
Oh, I missed Swamp.
Sorry.
I was done.
It was the lead thing.
Oh, I have no idea. I was off on another rabbit hole. Sorry.
Yeah, it was that we had apparently missed something up above that, and he was clarifying with that, so we kind of lost the whole thing. It's no problem, Swamp. Just, message somebody.
Yeah, totally.
Deb knows what's going on. Message Deb, and she'll get with you.
I wasn't paying attention. Sorry.
I didn't know there was. Yeah, I missed a question up above.
I was reading 57 other comments and was so lost.
Yeah, the chat went so fast tonight, guys. It was like.
So to answer Uphone's really discriminatory question, and quite un-PC, it's really expensive to buy items in Latin America, in Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, or whatever. It's not cheap. Baby clothes are very expensive. Shoes, jeans are atrociously expensive. So the weigh and pay is a really good resource for people to buy items and send them back home, whether it's Latin America or South America or Africa or wherever they're sending them, because there locally the clothing is very overpriced, and if you consider what their currency is equal to in dollars, it's not a lot. And so, if you're paying 99 cents a pound for, shoes, and the shoes are 2 pounds, you just paid $2. There's no way that they would be able to buy a pair of shoes for 30 pesos. It's just not going to happen. So they basically buy the items and send them back home, and whether they're either sending them to family or they're sending them to be sold in like a local store there or whatnot, that's what they're doing there. So.
Are we answering what was...
I'm answering the question of what are illegal immigrants doing at the weigh and pay.
They're shopping.
Yeah. I'm doing what you're doing.
I'm lost.
I'm so lost.
Lost tonight.
We need a moderator. Somebody to keep up, with the chat, because we are obviously crap at it. Between the three of us, we can't even keep up with it.
The Swamp Picker does have me curious. I'm going to go. I'm not going to close that window out.
I was going to say don't refresh or anything.
I would like to read on what the lead laws, whatever. I do remember the laws where you couldn't sell, baby cribs, and they've actually made that illegal, that you can't sell used baby cribs anymore. They're pretty much all the design for the last 50 years has now been outlawed because of safety issues. Mm-hmm. I do know about that, but I don't think that was lead based. But no, I'm totally curious. I'll go read it because I find stuff like that fascinating, and then kind of like doing eBay, Danica, and then you add that to your arsenal of information.
It's so hard to read the chat because you have to do it up in reverse.
Oh, it's going fast tonight.
And you see a question, you see something, and then you're like, okay, I got to find it up there somewhere, and you're reading conversations in reverse.
Yeah, I'm sorry if you guys asked something and we missed it. Sorry, message one of us.
It's really hard to find.
Yeah.
It wasn't Uphone iFlip. It wasn't offensive. I just was lost by the question.
I missed it. I didn't
see them every day, and they literally leave me all types. Most people that have just come to this country, and I will say that because we owned a thrift store, and my experience has been, whether they're illegal or not, but most people that have just come to this country are usually searching for the basic needs. Like when we had a thrift store, we sold the heck out of mattresses.
Yeah.
We sold the heck out of clothes. They want the basic needs because they've just moved here a lot of times with literally nothing on their backs. So they're looking for the basic needs. So yeah, they're not necessarily looking for stuff for resale.
They may be, but it's also that the things that you can buy in the weigh and pay for so cheap, you can essentially send back home for your family. And I mean, I'm not kidding when I say that it's super expensive. My husband's brother was deported, and so he went back home, and they're a small town where they are, and we sent him $100, because he didn't take anything with him. He didn't have anything at all, nothing. We sent him $100, and essentially what he got was a pair of pants, 2 shirts, and a pair of basic work boots. $100. That's all we got. And
so you would have been better off sending him the stuff.
We would have been better off sending him a box of stuff. You know, and we've done that. We went and we got all of his clothes from his house and all of his things, and we sent this big box, and it cost us like $150 to get the box there. But if we sent him $150, he would have gotten essentially 2 days worth of clothing, is how it would have worked out. So it's very
crazy.
expensive. You would think that, oh, it's super cheap. It's got to be super cheap. No, it's not. And I've actually heard that baby clothing is really expensive. Like you know, just baby clothes are too much money. So yeah, so that's what they're doing. I mean, if you can go someplace and get a U-Haul of stuff for, you know, $300, $400, $500 and drive it down there, I mean, it's you can either sell it and make good money, but B, I mean, it's cheaper for you as a provider type to do that, because it's just really expensive, and you got to think that the pay is really low. So your pay is low and stuff is the same price as it is here. And I know everybody goes, oh, you go to Mexico and you get stuff for cheap. Well, yeah, you get
liquor,
snacks for cheap, and
like,
cheap tequila,
and beer and medicine for cheap. But like actual like commodities, like and necessities like clothing and shoes and all of that stuff, that is not a lower price.
That's right. If you need some antibiotics, a bottle of Cuervo, and a sterling silver bracelet, then fine.
Sounds like
but if you need like a week worth of wardrobe, it's going to cost you the same as it costs us to go to Walmart and buy those exact same items. So, but you got to think that your money is worth way less.
So there's your economics in, you know, other countries lesson for today.
Hey, some of our best.
We're educational.
That was the question, and I can only talk about things that I know.
I mean, some of our best customers at our thrift store used to be, I mean, mattress sets. You know, they would move here. This is the way it worked here, anyhow. The people that would move here didn't have anything, and they would be forced to stay in an apartment with a bunch of other people. You know, that's just kind of how it worked. Hey, come here, you move in, and we could sell mattresses all day long. You know, mattresses and baby clothes, and they had the basic needs that they needed, and they were our best customers. My only regret is I've never learned Spanish. I took it in high school, so the communication, you know, my Alabama English and their Spanish really didn't, you know, we had a big communication issue there, but no, they were some of our best customers. So
yeah.
And I don't know about weigh and pays because I've never been in a weigh and pay because we don't have one here.
I hate them, but yes, they're way crowded, and it's like carts of stuff, and it's almost like how it is with Savers here. On Thursdays they do 99-cent day, and it's like ridiculous. The clothing carts are piled so high, and the first place they go is like jeans. Is the first thing is jeans, and then yeah, it's like, I mean, I'm like, it's serious cart stackage. But honestly, like, if that was something that I had to do and I had to support, you know, a family member or whatever that was in another country, I would be doing the exact same thing. And if I could, like, if I lived closer to the border and I could cross the border and, like, sell stuff at flea market, I totally would.
I would do that.
Oh, yeah.
All right. That's it, guys. Thanks for joining us for Freestyle. Right.
I think we had a topic, even though we didn't have a topic.
We did kind of have a topic. I thought I honestly thought I don't know. I kind of wanted us to be just, you know, blah. This is what's been going on, and da 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 da. And we ended up like right back on topic, like we've never done before. we've never like stayed focused like that when we do have a topic. So I'm not even going to try to list the shows because you know that I'll get it all wrong. We'll see you guys Wednesday morning for the reseller wake up.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Good night, Mr. Davidson.
Good night, Mr. Davidson.
What?
Oh
we can make it live now.
The button.
I did it.